I would love to work at Kiwibot because I've been a follower of the company since you pitched on Shark Tank some years ago. It was an amazing pitch from an amazing CEO that is Felipe Chavez. It was amazing. The product that you showed was amazing, and even now is a better product. I just saw some months ago the launch of the new KiwiBot that you did on April, and well, I think it's an amazing product. It's a revolution for the last mile delivery, and it's an amazing position as well because. Uh, it's something that I love. I love operations. I love the combination between technology and operations. And it's a suitable position because it matches and it's really similar of what I'm currently doing at Rappi. At Rappi, I work directly with the chief operating officer of the CPG's vertical, of the market vertical. And basically, what we do is doing constant analysis, and we iterate constantly on those analyses in order to identify opportunities, identify ideas, identify um new things that can allow us to turn them into projects, and those projects that can allow us to improve and to achieve those aggressive OKRs that we have and to improve the KPIs that we currently have, such as cancellation rate, such as defect rate, and so on. So I think it's a really suitable position for me and something that I have expertise on. And well, I just would love to be part of it. Well, regarding my top three strengths, the first one is that, well, as I told you, I'm an extremely accountable person. That means that I'm extremely determined, responsible, and committed with the work that I do, no matter how difficult it is. And I think that is an essential skill when working at a startup. In second place, I consider myself as an extremely action oriented person. So I always strive and I always focus my job into turn analysis, turn my projects, and turn the things that I do to be turned into real action that could really turn into positive outcomes, both in the short and in the long term. And I think that is also essential for working at a startup. And finally, I'm an extremely detail oriented person. Why is that? Because, well, when you work doing analysis, you need to be extremely detailed, especially when you talk about how you extract and modulate the data, how you want to show the data, how you want to present the data, and how you want to show them in order to translate those analyses into actions. You need to be extremely detail oriented, and that is something that I have acquired, especially throughout my journey at Rappi, in which, well, you need to be fast, you need to be action oriented, but you also need to pay a lot of attention into detail to don't over iterate on the process that you are doing. In my top three weaknesses, the first weakness that I have is that I lack of confidence of the work that I do. I've been trying to improve that, and I have improved that specifically through continuous feedback. I always ask for feedback from my boss, from my teammates. I constantly present things to the country head of operations, and I also reach out to them to ask for continuous feedback, and that has helped me a lot to acquire more confidence on the work that I'm doing. Additionally, many projects that I have done have contributed to good results in the company, and that also have helped me to increase the confidence on what I am doing. My second weakness is that, well, usually, especially at the beginning, I didn't know how to say no to the people at Rappi, especially. So, for example, everybody was reaching out to me like, "Hey, Ruben, could you help me with this? Could you spare some time to help me with this other thing?" And I always used to say yes, and I wasn't focusing on my daily activities and on my job. And well, I have worked a lot through that, and what I have been doing is, well, I have created like special piece of uh, agile management in which I have my backlog with my activities, my priorities, and whenever somebody asks me for help, of course I am willing to help, but I look at my backlog, I look at my priorities, and I said, okay, I could help you later next week, or we could schedule some time afterwards, and so on. Uh, and finally, my last weakness is that, well, it's a little bit curious because I love to help others, but sometimes I find it really hard to ask for help. And well, one thing that has helped me a lot to improve that is some retrospective sessions that we do with the team in which we analyze what we could improve as a person and also in the job. And many of my teammates have told me that I should improve on that, and I have worked a lot on it. And I also have realized that asking for help is essential, because one activity that could take 2 or more hours, I could do it on half of the time, and that has been amazing. So I'm working a lot on that. It's essential to ask for help, and it's critical, especially at a startup. Okay, the project in which I failed the highest level of uncertainty was a couple of months ago, in which with the product team we launched a new way of payment to make the life easier for the rapitenderos at the moment of the checkout at the supermarkets. Unfortunately, that country in Brazil, this system failed, and several rapitenderos saw an opportunity of committing fraud. Uh, Unfortunately, my boss was on vacations, and the Brazilian ops team reached out to me of what we could do. I actually didn't know what to say at the beginning. The first thing that came into my mind was, okay, let's report the incidents to the technical team and let's wait for them to solve it. But that was not the solution. We iterate and we went further, and through a simple dashboard that I created, basically we identified the rapitenderos that were committing fraud, and what we did basically was just blocking them, don't allowing them to do more orders. The thing is that there were a lot of rapitenderos committing fraud, so uh, there was a huge decrease on supply and the demand was increasing during that day. So in short words, what we did basically was to balance a little bit this demand with the supply. We rescheduled some orders, we balance a little bit the store polygons, we uh, take advantage of our personal shoppers that were in other stores, and we translate them to the stores in which the payment system failed. And that's basically how we control this project that went out of the line a little bit during some days, and it was a high level of uncertainty and of, well, problems. Yeah, as I told you, my first and my essential value is responsibility, and perseverance, and I reflect that in my day-to-day work by accountability, by being an accountable person, trying to deliver my things on time, trying to deliver my things with a quality, with higher quality, and to be able to show that I'm good at the work that I'm doing. Be committed to my work. My second value essentially is honesty, and I have reflected honesty by this retrospective session that we have where I am honest and I tell to my boss and to my teammates in which areas they should improve, in which areas should I improve, and that is amazing to be honest and transparent in the workplace. Also, when you don't have the time or you don't deliver the thing of time, be honest on what are the blockers and what are the barriers that are not allowing you to deliver the thing on time. And finally, my biggest value as well is confidence. I am confident of the work that my teammate is doing. I am confident about the team that my boss is doing. When my boss delivers an activity to me, he's confident that I'm going to do my best and I'm going to be as accountable as I could. So that is also a huge value that is essential for every team, that is have confidence in each other. Well, and finally, beside of what is in my resume, I could describe myself as an extremely accountable person. I love to get things done. I love to solve complex problems. The more complex, the better. I love to iterate on problems. Well, I additionally consider myself as an autodidact. I love to learn new things every day. I'm in this path of continuous learning, and well, I hope to keep on that because it's an essential skill for working at a startup.